So, welcome everyone. Welcome to our Monday night Patronation group call. It's so good to have everybody here, and big shout out to the ladies on our team, Andrea and Helen and Darlene and Jen and Heather Lemke for the 3 week series that they did over the last 3 weeks. It was a great series. The final recording was just put up today. We all got great material there to look at and to help us learn on Canva to all make our posts look a little better. Uh, and I think it's a great thing and it's a great tool to use. And so what I was thinking about this call, we always look at our Monday night call as training, 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 training. And I'm not saying that training isn't important. I'm not saying that it's not a good thing to share what we all know and how we can be better at our businesses. But I think one of the key factors that we need to squeeze into our Monday nights every now and then is our stories. Because our stories that we tell, either personal stories or ones we share or ones we've witnessed, are so key to spreading the news of our products. And I know that we have lots of stories. So what I'm going to try and do, if nobody objects to it, once a month I want to do a story night, and that's what tonight is about. It's about our stories because I want us to be open about our personal journeys on this, our personal successes, physically, mentally, or somebody we know and love. Because let's face it, that's what we post about. How can I help you or somebody you may know and love? And so we've all had amazing experiences. This is such a vital, vital, vital point of our journey with this technology is sharing stories. And this is something myself and Kevin Dugay and some of us OGs at the beginning was so important to our events. I mean, we would have people share stories that put a patch on at the beginning of the event, and halfway through, they wanted to stand up and see and talk about what they were feeling. And so they're very, very important. So I reached out to put a post up, and I am thankful for the people that responded about telling their story. I know we all have a story. We all have several of them. So I'm going to be counting on a lot of you guys when we do this again to step up and get on the camera. And so I'm grateful that you all showed up tonight. I'm grateful for everybody's efforts in sharing this technology as we, build our worldwide distribution networks of people. So first on the list, I have Mia Saddington. Mia, please feel free to unmute yourself and let's hear your story. Find your mute button there.
Yeah, here we go. Okay.
Great.
So a lot of people may not know that I'm going through chemo right now. When you look at me, people tell me you look great. Chemo can affect you in a lot of different ways.
Hmm.
It can certainly affect your immune system and make you weak and tired and lethargic. So I want to share with you how the technology is helping me through my chemo process. The first one that I use is Defend. I use this every day, and it helps strengthen my immune system. So when I get my blood work done at the cancer clinic, they're amazed with my blood results. And I know that's giving me the energy that I need and to continue on with my journey. Um, Obviously, it can be very stressful. So I will use the Peace Patch. You may not know it, but this is a wig. I'm actually, I've lost all of my hair, so very stressful. And sometimes even when we don't even feel stressful, the body's experiencing stress. So definitely a patch that you definitely want to incorporate in your day-to-day life. And the other one that I use all the time is Focus as well. Focus, especially your mind is always on your treatment or whatever, and you want to be able to focus on other things and enjoy life. So the Focus Patch is the one that I use all the time. So yeah, I have one round of chemo to go on Monday, and I'm rocking it. So thanks for letting me share.
Oh, Mia, that's That's wonderful. Sorry that you're going through this. It's never an easy journey. Want you to know that we're all thinking and praying for you. And yes, you will get through this. You will rock this. And thank you for your belief in the patches and how they're helping you deal with this. So great job, Mia. We're all pulling for you, girl.
You
Um,
know, and the other thing is, I'm not, I know that other people are going through this sometimes in silence. So if there's someone out there that wants to just have a chat with me, I'm open to, feel free to reach out and we can talk.
that's great. Thank you so much, Mia. So next we have Elaine Trites. Elaine, if you could unmute yourself, then we'd love to hear your story, hear from you. Welcome,
Hi.
Elaine.
Thank you, Terry. It's good to be here tonight. I have so many stories, but my most recent one, I think I'll share with you for this year. As you know, I've been in the business for 8 years, so I have lots of experience with the technology, and it's helped me in so many ways. January 3rd, my father passed away,
Hmm.
and it was a week before I was to be on a flight to go to Europe for a vacation. Now, Dad was elderly. It was expected. He had gone through, he was going through some rough times. But it's still sad to lose your dad.
Sure.
So fast forward to the spring when we were actually planning Dad's celebration of life and family reunion. Uh, we found out that my brother had some serious health issues and needed heart surgery. So he scheduled it all around after Dad's celebration of life, which was in July. We had a great family reunion. And I'm very close to my brother. We had taken care of Dad together through the past several years, off and on. And so I was taking my brother to his surgery, which was supposed to just be a simple heart valve replacement. Little did I know he had more risk factors than he was telling me. And he had a massive stroke during the surgery and didn't survive the week. So I have had the grief of losing my dad and my father this year, and my dad and my brother. And my brother was a hard one because we were really close.
Hmm.
And the last 3 months, he died in August, the last 3 or 4 months have been a lot to deal with the being executor of the will and all that, and dealing with all the property, getting it ready for sale and everything. And I cannot tell you how amazing the Peace Patch and the Joy Patch has helped me through this.
Hmm.
And I didn't realize how much the Joy Patch could help me until I started to use it. I hadn't been using it. I was always using the Peace. And when I started using the Joy Patch, I can be pretty upfront about this. My daily outbursts of tears when I was by myself, whether it was driving or just
Hmm.
thinking about my brother, stopped.
Hmm.
It just stopped. Like I was thinking about him in more of a positive way, missing him still, but thinking of it in more of a positive light. I wasn't going to that deep, dark place. So this is my message I want to send out to anyone here, that if you have anyone that you know that is dealing with grief in the family, get the Joy and Peace Patch to them. Maybe it's a gift. Maybe it's a gift to them. Maybe you want to just silently gift it to them, or just have a conversation with them. But it will really help them through the dark days. And
Wow.
that's what I wanted to share with you about yeah, my experience with it lately. So
Well, Elaine, thank you so much. And sorry for your losses. That's,
thank you.
losing a loved one, especially a dad. I've been through it, and a mom, and had a brother attempt suicide. These times are very tough on us. It's a tough world out there, and grief is a real
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
And to be able to have this gift of the patches that not only help us to get through it, um, it's almost our duty to share with those that are suffering. And as you said, whether you gift it to them or whatever, but get it on them, get it on them. So, um, yeah, it's never easy to go through these things, and thank goodness these patches are helping you, and we're all grateful that you took the time to share this with us tonight. So thank you, Elaine.
You're welcome.
And now I'm looking for Sylvia. I want to see if Sylvia's on the call.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are, Sylvia. Yeah, okay, great. You
Yeah.
unmuted. Nice to see you, Sylvia.
Nice to see you. And I'm going to share actually, it's my husband's testimonial, but he won't come on. And he is a fan. He's learned a long time ago to listen to what I have to recommend as far as making him feel better with natural things. So he is working on some things that are really new for him. So he has had to stretch his brain, and he is typically always gives 150% because he wants to make sure he's doing a good job. But at the same time, he can become quite anxious
Mhm.
and then tends to get migraines. So he has previous experience with the Peace Patch if he's worn it the odd time for going to parties where he doesn't really know people. So I said, okay, I want to try the Peace Patch. Yep. Okay. That'll help with the anxiety. And he has had, I put them on him. What are you putting on me? And so I said the focus patch. He said, "Yep, yep, yep." And he'd come home and he'd go, "Oh my God, these things work. Oh my God, these things work." I didn't get a migraine. Oh my God, I could focus. I got so much done. I got so much because he had like real intense. And then something else happened, and he started mm, having these feelings. And I said, well, the next one I can give you is the joy patch. And because I actually just recently started using the joy patch, it was the first time I used it. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I put that on, and again, he comes home, he goes, man, these patches work. He says,
Hmm.
I got through the day. I feel great. I didn't get a migraine and I feel fine. And so yeah. So it's not a
That's
grief
fan
story, but
that
it is, yeah, it's like some men are resistant to trying things. And yeah, so he's like, man, these work. Man, these worked.
yes,
So
yes, we are. He is a
yeah,
normal man,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
good for
But
you for being a normal wife and pushing
yeah,
him to do things uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
to
Well,
help.
and he accidentally poked himself in the eye yesterday doing yard work, right? And he goes, "Where's the pain patch? Where's the pain patch?"
Oh my goodness.
So, and then today I actually put the Defend patch on him to get the blood circulating there. So,
Well, I think it's exciting, whether they're a spouse or a relation or whatever, but when you have a skeptic turn believer, it's always fun. It's always that little inside little snicker. But when it's close to home, it's very gratifying, and probably brings you a lot of joy to see the fact that you're helping your husband.
yeah. Well, it helps me too
Yeah. No,
because then he's not coming home all, you know, cranky and having a migraine because that's not fun at all, right? Yeah. So,
well, we got to get him. We got to get your husband on the peace patch and the joy patch and get him to come on camera. Oh,
yeah.
that'll be a
Yeah.
challenge.
I put the peace patch on him today. I goes, "You want the focus?" He goes, "No."
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Well, he knows what he wants, and that's
Yeah.
like you just keep dripping
Yeah.
and
But
make sure
I
that
mean,
they're
he cut
available.
when I don't know how many days in a row, and he had some pretty intense stuff that he had to do. And he's like, man, these work. Man, these work. Man, these work.
Yeah, I think that's something a lot of us have heard time and time again, especially with new people that we get on. So thanks so much for sharing, Sylvia, and kudos to your husband for being open to give him a try, and glad to see that he's having some successes with it for sure.
Yeah.
So thank
Yeah.
you for sharing.
Yeah.
I think Susie Richardson is here somewhere. Susie, Susie, Susie. Can't find her here. I think what we'll do, I know that Brenna is here. So Brenna from Sylvan Lake, Alberta, who's another one of us OGs. Um, and I know Brenna is a great leader in this company. She's a tremendous inspiration to a lot of us, especially to me, over what she's gone through in the last couple of years on a journey of health and stress. So I know that these patches have helped her get through this time in her life, and it's nice to see you're coming out the other side, Brenna. So we'd love to hear, how this technology has helped you and some of the things that you used it for in your past couple of years.
You make me cry before I start. No. Um, so I've been using the patches and well, when we used to have the sock for 9 years, I've been here. So I have many stories, but I'm gonna just touch base on my last 2 years of my journey. 2 years ago, I went into septic shock and ended up on life support for 3 days. Um, and some big surgeries during that. And I that's when I really got pure full belief. Well, I always believed in the patches, they've helped me with lots, but I got to see it in real time in the ICU room and the things that those patches do for you. So when you're in the ICU, your vitals are up on a TV screen up in front of you, your oxygen levels, your heart rate, your so my family did tell me while I was on life support, they would watch my vitals go up, my oxygen levels and all that would help when they put the tech on me. But once I was awake, I was still struggling learning how to breathe on my own. My oxygen was really low. My heart was still only running at maybe 20, 30%, things like that to come out of the septic shock. And I got to see in real life my vitals moving when the tech would go on me. So, um, if anybody, that just made my belief solid because before I just knew how I felt better, but I actually saw it happening to all my organs, running better, optimally going higher as I put the tech on. And the peace patch I'm going to talk just a little bit about because this solidified the peace and probably the joy patch could go with this too. So when I was in the ICU, I had family taking shifts with me, taking turns, and as I was recovering, I was just lying there in bed and my dad had came for his shift and there was somebody else, I don't remember which family member it was, and they were just having a conversation. Not, it didn't involve me, but he was talking to someone about how he got cut off in traffic coming to the hospital from the Airbnb they were staying in. And I just want to talk about micro macro stressors or big stressors or long-term stressors because this really solidified. And I've taken courses on ailments versus emotions and how emotions can really tax your organs. But I got to see it in real life. And just that little story of him talking, it was just it's a little bit of negativity, but it's nothing major in life. But he was talking about how this vehicle had cut him off in traffic and blah, blah. Well, the instant that story started going, I wasn't part of the conversation, but I was listening. I could hear it. I was just lying in my bed. And I watched my oxygen and I honestly started grasping for air and all my vitals just dropped on the TV screen, my heart rate, everything, just from hearing a little bit of a negative story about someone cutting him off in traffic. So that solidified how important that peace patch is for people to be wearing, going through stressful times, going through hard things, or just your everyday micro macro stressors and how much it can tax you over the years and things like that, as well as the joy patch. Because just like I said, hearing that negative or that little bit of stressor on my body from just my ears hearing it, I watched my vitals just crash hard and I was struggling to breathe and it was things like that. So that's a little bit about that. Now, um, through my healing journey of septic shock, it does a lot of nasty things. And over the 2 years, I've had health issue after health issue down to autoimmune things coming at me and things like that. Now, I'm on the up. I'm having some really big breakthroughs right now. So I'm super happy. But those patches, I don't know how I would have got. And I'm also, I'll touch this too. I am also in the middle of going through leaving a very abusive marriage. So these patches honestly have saved my life with the I've had severe brain fog. I've had a lot of cognitive dysfunction coming out of septic shock. It's a lot on your body and taxes you a lot. All the meds, life support drugs coming out of it all. Um, and these patches have absolutely saved my life. The severe fatigue that boost patch has helped, the peace patch getting me through some really hard times. And kind of like Elaine shared, I mean, there's things that we have to go through and we can't get away from them. But to be able to go through them with grace and not breaking mentally and things like that, they have literally saved my life. The joy and peace patch for that. Um, I've had to have lots of scans and things and lots of like one thing I got diagnosed with almost like an autoimmune, but I'm having a breakthrough with that too. And I swear these patches have kept me at bay and just got me through everything on this. And the Lumi patch, I had lots of surgeries. You should see my scarring. It's beautiful. Like I will never take that off for skin issues. Um, the sleep patch, you get severe insomnia after septic shock, like I'm talking, you cannot sleep, and that has saved my life. I'm now sleeping like 9, 10 hour nights all the time. Um, and just the recovery of everything. I don't know what I would have done without those balance patches, all that, like having to be helped walk for 4 months after coming out of septic shock, the things like that, that balance, the stability and the healing time has helped so much. Like I just had a nose surgery 6 weeks ago. I had to get my nose all reconstructed inside, and I had no bruising and no swelling, none. And every nurse and doctor that saw me was like, "Where is it?" So yeah, I don't know. I could go on, and I only have so much time, and I am a chatty Cathy, but I just want everyone to know how important they are for people in all types of things. Like I said, just going through septic shock, it's a lot of stressor on your bodies, or even sick and health things are stressors on your bodies, let alone just everyday life. I'm a mom, I have kids, life's stressful that way. But yeah,
Mhm.
these patches are important and protecting you from so many things getting worse. I swear I will never ever be without them after seeing that in real life, after seeing things like that and stuff like that, and just the taxing on your heart with stress, your things like that. We got to take care of our body and our organs, and I saw it in real life. I will never unsee that on those screens of my vitals.
Yeah, and it's Brent, I remember that time. It was a gut-wrenching time for a lot of us that are good friends of yours. And I mean, we had just got back from an event, a Super Patch event in Orlando, and it happened days after you were home, and we just, still to this day, I don't think they really even know how it happened,
Yeah.
but all I know is that um I can remember how cooperative your sisters were and so on because I was, when you were out of it, when you were not coherent, I was like, keep these patches on her, keep these, um, this tech on her or whatever. And, I'm just so excited to hear that, that they were a component, however big or small, in your recovery because the percentages of people coming out of septic shock and living are very small.
Hmm.
They're not very small. So you got a second chance at life, and who knows? Maybe these patches were the deal breaker. Maybe these
Yeah.
what you will never know, but your experience and being able to share. just touching on some of the things you went through, and how these patches have helped you. If they could just change one person and help
Yeah.
one person that goes through the same thing or has dealt with the same thing, then your story is important. And
Yeah. And I believe they do because when I was in the coma, my vitals would go up when they put the tech on me. And I'm sorry, but I just want to share one more thing. I come out of
sure.
there with a lot of brain damage, and I have a new profound thing for people that have, it could be just head injuries to like seniors with Alzheimer's too. I had very bad short-term memory. I'm talking like I've had to Google how to turn a stove on. I know how to, but my mind would go blank lots all the time. Simple things like that, washing machines. And I would struggle so terribly without that focus patch on and the victory and all those. And those helped me through all those times because it was very frustrating when you were so smart and quick and witty and I couldn't. Or my kids would get so mad because you would say a simple sentence to me and I couldn't understand what you were saying and it was just something simple. And those patches got me through those hard times and got my mind back and helped me through those things. And I am on the upswing, like I said, but I don't know what I would have done without them struggling that bad when I knew how I used to be and I could remember. And every day was so hard for so long with
Mhm.
that. So if you know anyone that's struggling, like with like concussions do those things to you, or those, it's frustrating and they remember how they used to be, get that on them. Get like even I think of my mom, she's aging and she deals with that and now I know what she's going through and it's not fun.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we feel your pain. Um, it's the pictures I remember during the time. It it was a very, very difficult time for you and your family. But you know what, Brenna? You're a warrior.
Yeah, I am. I am.
You're a little
I
pit
wasn't gonna
bull,
cry.
but
I know how much they saved me through it all.
well, I know how grateful you are to have a second chance, to have had this technology available to you, and to have a family that, knew enough to keep it on you when you were in a coma and when you were in a state of battling. And, that story is very, very
I swear it
compelling.
saved me. They told me every day in my family, she's not gonna make it. She is on a lot of life support every day. She's not. I swear the patches did because that's all I did, or they did.
Well,
I
I can
swear.
remember getting the text from Allie, and it was disbelief, first of all, because we were just away, our whole team, a bunch of us, we were just away in Orlando.
Mhm.
And it was disbelief. And, you know, I can remember saying to Allie, I don't care what she's going through right now, how close she is, make sure that her family gets patches on her.
Mhm.
And Allie's one of your best friends. And she did that. She put the whip to your family, and so thankful that they were able to do that for you, and we're so grateful that you're on the road to recovery. Again, it's a long journey, and as I tell people, whether you're dealing with an ailment as serious Brenna went through or is going through, that this is a process. It's not a pill. And you have to realign, you have to allow your body to reconstruct and balance from a neurological perspective first. And then the stuff will follow, but you have to trust in the process. And you've done that, Brent. I know you've been a
Yeah.
warrior, and you and I talk a lot, and you never have gotten a day without, 3 or 4 or 5 patches on every day. And
Yeah.
I know that where you have come from 2 years ago to now is just, it's incredible. You're
I
getting,
feel like it would have lingered on way longer without them because I have friends that are like survivors too. Not they didn't get as bad as me, but some did, and they're 6 years out, and I'm way further. And I swear it's because of the patches. Like it sped it up for
yeah,
me. Yeah, but
yeah,
it is. You still have to have patience and keep going
yeah.
and just believe in it.
Oh, great. That's great, Brenna. Thank you very much for sharing. We appreciate you coming on tonight. And I know you're a busy mom between hockey and keeping your kids out of trouble. They're good kids. But you're a great mom and you're a trooper, and we appreciate all you're doing to spread the word of this technology. And thank you for sharing. So we got a little bit of time left here. I think this just proves tonight how important stories are, how important stories are, whether it's yours, whether it's someone you know, how important it is to tell your story, right? I mean, we have 70, whatever, 3,000 people on a testimonials group that, have shared their story and have made a difference. And like, everybody that shared tonight, if your story can make a difference and help one person in this world, then it's for good. Drug-free, chemical-free, it's for good. So I want to open up the mic now. Is there anybody on here? If you just raise your hand with the little reaction button down at the bottom, raise your hand. You can just unmute and you have a story either for yourself that you'd like to share, a friend, family member. I'll leave it open. And I know there's lots of stories out there in TV land. I know that Heather Lemke just sent me a video about a young lady that had some problem. Heather, why don't you share that?
I was just pulling it up here, Terry. Maybe I could just show it on my screen.
Is
So
it on
this
your
is a
computer?
lady.
Is it on your computer?
It's on my, yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
you should be able to share the screen possibly.
There we are. So this was at a show yesterday, and this lady came along and she had fibromyalgia. And she told me, she said, I have absolutely no balance. I have fibromyalgia. So we did the balance test on her. She was blown away. So this is her after. Donna. So I'm just talking to Donna here. Donna's got fibromyalgia, and I just did the balance test on these ladies. And first, she didn't want to because of her fibro. So I asked her if I could put a freedom patch on. And what's your experience? So I put the freedom patch on about 2 minutes ago, eh, Donna? Yeah. What's your experience so far?
I feel something happening. I couldn't raise my arms at first before the patch was put on, and I'm able to bring them up halfway, whereas I couldn't before. I feel I don't know how to explain the feeling I'm getting through my body, but even the pain. I'm just standing here. Before I had pain in my hips, and I don't feel that right now, but I feel it going down my legs in a way. Like just it's a nice feeling. I just don't know what it is yet.
That's good. That's what we look for. Now, the reaction is not always that fast for everybody, but I'm going to follow up with you and see what it's like. I've got 2 more patches here to send Donna home with, and I'm going to call you in a couple of days and just see how you're feeling, and maybe then you'll want to take advantage of our promotion. Thanks, Donna.
Thank you.
So then this was about 20 minutes later. She came running across the floor asking if she could give me a hug because she could lift her arm. And she was totally blown away. And she called me today and she is signing up on a 2-pack Smart Chip.
Wow. Wow. There you go. Helping people. Simply helping people. And look at the smile. How did that make you feel, Heather? Pretty amazing, I bet. I can feel
Terry,
it from here.
it is. And that's why we do it. We don't do it to, I'm trying to figure out how to stop sharing here.
We don't do it to make money. Let's face it, you don't make money selling patches at a show. And since we changed our MO last year, after our heart to heart up at Windy Lake to sell the business rather than sell the patches, it's made a massive difference.
Hmm.
And we had a really bad show this weekend as far as turnout for people, but it was a great show to be able to have the time to talk to people about what the tech can do, tell them the advantages of signing up on that smart chip and recruit people. So, yeah, it's changing lives and just makes you feel good to be part of it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. If you go to the bottom of your screen, you should be able to stop the share.
Uh,
It'll be in the same
Where's,
spot that you started the share.
no, it's asking me if I want to share again.
I was at that same
Uh,
home show with Heather, and Heather actually patched a lady. And I don't know if she saw this, but when the lady walked away, she took her cane and threw it over her shoulder and walked out without using her cane.
okay, where do I stop sharing here? Sorry, Terry, you're stuck with me.
I think you're doing it on purpose.
Andrea, oh, I did not. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, once we get you on the camera, can't get you off. I know. You just fake it like
Am I
you
off
don't know where the
now?
share button is.
Am I off? I
You're
don't
off
see
now.
I see all of you guys.
No, you're off. You're
It's
good.
gone.
Thanks,
It's gone.
thanks, Heather. No, that's just amazing. I mean, those kind of things where somebody comes back to the booth and, as Andrea said, somebody that, throws their cane over their shoulder. I can remember being at a show one time and a guy came in with a cane and got them all fixed up and everything. And there was so many people at the booth and it was busy. The guy just got his product and left. And I kind of looked about 15 minutes later. I'm like, oh my goodness, that guy left his cane here. And so about an hour later, he came back and he said, "Did I leave my cane here?" And I said, "Yes, you did." I said, "How long have you been walking with a cane?" He said, "About 7.5 years." I said, "You've been walking with a cane for 7.5 years and you forgot it? That's like forgetting a leg." So I said, "Obviously, I think our technology is working. Congratulations." So he took his cane and he didn't use it. He threw it over his shoulder and walked away. So it was awesome. Evelyn, good to see you on here.
Hi.
How
I was
are
going
you?
to ask Heather a question actually. Because she has fibro, I'm guessing her whole body hurt. Where did you end up putting that one? You just gave her the one Freedom Patch, and where did you put it?
No, I put one on her, Ev, and I gave her two more, and that's what the arm bit came up because I said, "Where's your pain?" And she said, "Everywhere." And
Right.
I said, "Well," so I thought immediately I'm going to put it right at the base of her neck here, right below her oh my God. I'm having a brain fart here, guys.
Come on,
Right
Kev,
below her
help her
cerebral
out. I
cortex.
see you laughing there.
Cerebral
Come on, you
cortex, got it.
practitioners on here. Help the poor lady out.
So I asked her if she could lift her head while I put it on, and she couldn't. So her
Wow.
friend was with her, and her friend lifted her hair for her because she couldn't lift her arms. And that's where the arm bit came up. And then after about 2 minutes of chatting, we were talking about the other patches. She was going like this, and then she started going like this, and she lifted arms up, and she was just freaking out. But that woman obviously has really heightened neurology because she could feel it going right down through her body. Like it was amazing listening. Like she was in shock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
those kind of
that's
videos are
amazing.
so powerful, Heather, and good for you for getting her permission to be able to share that. These are really inspiring things and uh, great learning for all of us here that, if we have somebody that's suffering with the symptoms of usually pain with fibromyalgia, that if it's all over, then the base of the skull, back of the neck is really an ideal spot to put it because that's where all the central nervous system comes into the brainstem. So, um, good for you. That's awesome. So I hope she answered your question, Evelyn. And I think
Yeah, thank
Sylvia
you.
had the same question.
Thank you.
So. Okay, we got a couple of minutes. Who else would like to share something? I hope you're finding these stories refreshing, energizing you again to share, inspiring you to share again with these stories. So, who else has got a story out there that they'd like to share? Don't all jump at once.
I can give another testimonial for
Oh,
myself.
great, Sylvia. Good for you.
Um, this is, well, woman related. Um, this is going back maybe in the spring. And I had what seemed like UTI symptoms. So I was this close to calling my doctor. And because sometimes that stuff doesn't actually show up. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to put the Defend patch on. I wore it for 2 weeks. All those symptoms disappeared.
Wow. That was with the Defend patch.
Yeah.
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 Well, I'll tell you a story. Way back in the beginning when the Defend patch first came out, it was under the name Neurovax and it was rebranded as Defend. I was doing a show in town, um, and in my hometown, and or was it in Toronto? Might have been in Toronto. Darlene, you might remember this. The microscopist that took a blood draw from a lady, did a blood draw from a lady, put it up on the screen, and you could see a lot of what they call rouleau effect, where it's the clumping of blood, the sticky blood. Usually, a lot of it's caused from EMF, electromagnetic frequencies, because we're on these damn things so much, and you got to have things on the back of your phone to minimize the EMF and that sort of stuff. But generally, that's what it's. We live in a world of EMF, so is the defend necessary? Absolutely. But what happened is they did the draw and on this woman, and not only was her blood um, in a very, very severe state of Rouleau. She had a yeast infection that was noticeable on the slide. So we patched her and came back in about almost, I think it was almost 2 hours, Darlene, I think is what it was. Yeah, Paul, you might have been there as well. And her second draw after having the patch on, all her blood was free flowing again. All the blood cells were not stuck together. They were free flowing again. Here's the wild thing that drove the microscopist wild was that 50% of her yeast infection was gone within 2 hours. No drugs, no chemicals, no nothing. So the Defend patch, I mean, I never, um, when I was with Jay, who we were going to an event one time, and Jay had just come out with this patch. He hadn't released it yet. And he was in my vehicle and we were driving, and he started talking about this bird virus in Wuhan, China. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Is this a sci-fi movie or like, I don't know how he had this information, but he was like, no, it's a man-made this and that out of a lab in Wuhan, China, and they're going to use it to blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, what are you smoking, dude? So anyways, he said, I've invented a patch that if you wear this patch, in all likelihood, you will not get the virus. And if you do, you'll probably be asymptomatic. And I'm like, first of all, I don't even know what asymptomatic meant at that time. So I was like, okay, whatever, cool. And we just kept driving. He said, no, I'm serious. He said, I'm so confident in this patch, and this virus is so serious. I'm so confident in this patch that I would put this patch on and I would lick the door handle of the Wuhan hospital and not be afraid. And so I've shared this story a number of times. And I thought, well, this guy, the inventor of this technology, is so confident in what this does for our immune system and our blood. Because, first of all, scripture says life is in the blood. And so we have to take care of our blood. And I think, as we've all shared tonight, stories about the peace patch seem to be a common denominator for a lot of us. And as Bruna said, micro and macro stressors. They do a lot of damage to our body, and a lot of times we don't know what the hell they're doing. And because we can't always feel stress, right? But it's there. It's that silent killer. And so the Peace Patch and the I'd lick the door handle of the Wuhan Hospital patch called the Defend patch, I wear those every single day, and I think you should too. And it's an amazing patch for what it does. Dar.
Yeah, I'll just add my 2 cents to the Defend patch. So I was actually part of one of the associates had hired a blood analysis person to do their own thing, and then she had me videotape some of that. And what I saw in it was exactly like what you're describing, is that it was pulling stuff out of the system. And if you remember when we first started on that patch, and then all of a sudden in the group chat, everybody's like, is anybody else running to the bathroom? And that tended to be a side effect simply because all of that stuff that was being drawn out of your body had to go somewhere. And we're all like, is this a side effect? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? But when you look at how those things worked, that's actually what's happening. So I actually put a patch on a lady because she was looking at liver dysfunction and all sorts of things, and she was very interested in the Defend, but she didn't want to commit. I says, you know what? We'll give it a shot. So she texted me the next day, says, you were right. It definitely cleans the blood. But the other thing that it showed up when we did that live blood analysis, in the short term, like before you got to that 2 hours where it was actually getting stuff out, he actually turned to me and he said, why is there more heavy metals showing up in the blood right now? And I said, you tell me. You're the expert. He said, is it actually drawing it out of the cells into the bloodstream for it to get rid of? And I said, your guess is as good as mine. And he kept doing that, but I didn't answer him. I just kept saying, you tell me what's happening. You're the blood guy. And so he was describing all of these things that could possibly be the mechanism of how this was working. And he was spot on. So, like that's another one. It's like, I'm not sure how much it's doing from day to day. I know when I don't have the Defend on, all of a sudden I get a little stuffed up, or I'm not thinking as clearly. And boy, it's on my body every single day. So just thought I'd throw that in there too.
Yeah, Dar, that's awesome. I mean, we've there's lots of testimonials about people with allergies that have had allergies that have worn the Defend patch, and it's really either eliminated their allergies or reduced them dramatically. And
And that's because it's getting rid of that debris, that you're not stockpiling additional debris every time you get poison ivy or an allergen. It's having you start from fresh as opposed to stockpiling on the pile before. So that's why it's helping. It's amazing.
And it's, the thing is, I don't, from my perspective, I look at it and say, I was no different than anybody else. I got sick or got a cold a couple times a year or whatever. And, you just sort of expected it. I can't even tell you the last time I was sick. It goes back like before 2020. I haven't had a cold. I never caught COVID. I was around lots of people that supposedly had it, but I never went a minute, a second. As long as it took me to change that patch, bang, another one was on. And I did it right at the 24th hour. And I still do it to this day because I totally believe that a compromised immune system does a lot of things that we're not aware of. And so if we have the ability to optimize our immune system with this patch, gang, you gotta wear this patch on a regular basis. I'm not saying it's going to stop you from getting a cold or stop you from getting sick. What I am telling you though, if you're wearing it, you will recover, in my opinion, way faster. And Brenna's a prime example of that. It wasn't a cold or it wasn't whatever. This was a serious traumatic thing that her body went through. And so it's incredible what this technology does.
Can I share one more thing real quick?
Sure.
So over this past 2 years, I ended up getting diagnosed with another syndrome, whatever. I was really debilitated, bedridden a lot of days. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole what all it did, but I ended up having to cave to an immunosuppressant, 15, it was an immunosuppressant injection, a monthly injection. And that's been, well, actually a year. Wow, time flies. And I I've always kept the Defend patch on and all that. And I swear this month I'm no longer needing it. And I could not function without that injection, let alone like function daily without it or high doses of high meds. And I'm no longer needing it. I'm 3 weeks out from using it. And before, as soon as it would start running out by week 3, I was debilitated again and again. And it was the only thing keeping me going every day. And I feel, like I said, I stayed the course and consistently wore that patch and just over time. And it was a autoimmune thing I got diagnosed with. And I feel it's all like a thing from the septic shock. Obviously it does. But yeah, I'm off it.
Wow,
And I'm
that's
glad because I didn't like taking it.
no, I bet. And you know what, Berna? Good for you for trusting the process. Let that be a lesson to all of us that, as Heather said, not everybody sees the results as quick as that lady did. Not everybody deals with something as serious as you did, Brenna. But there's always, as Kevin Duguay coined the phrase, inconveniences, neurological or physical inconveniences. We have a technology right now that will help us all. We have to trust the process of this technology. It's not a pill. It's not, suppressing. It's allowing our body to get back to the position what it was designed to do, and that's help itself, its own innate. And so,
And you have to be patient because there are times you give up. And I was there lots. Like
yeah,
I had a life sentence to this. That's it. That's my life. This sucks.
yeah.
But it's not.
Well, the thing is that we as humans, we don't like to postpone gratification, right? So it's our job to make sure that people understand, as Darlene has always said, that this is a process, not a pill. And so, I tell people that it's like if you go to the gym and you want to get a six-pack stomach, you don't go 3 times to the gym and then yell at the owner because you don't have a six-pack. You have to do the 12-week program and do the crunches and the sit-ups and all the things that develop those muscles. So it takes time, is my point. And when we optimize our neurology to attack whatever inconveniences we're dealing with, then we have to really coach people through that. And we as people that are doing that, doing this, it's really there's a reason why we have a 30-day money back guarantee and not a 3-day and not a 3 hour. It's a 30-day. You don't tell your doctor who writes you a prescription to take 2 pills every day for 4 weeks, take 1 pill every other day and go back in 8 weeks and say this prescription didn't work, right? We followed the directions. And so anyways, but that's been great, guys. I really appreciate everybody sharing. I think these calls are really important. It's really important for all of us to hear stories that, you know, really edifies why we're all doing this. Yes, the financial reward, if that's what we're looking for, is great. Work hard at it. But the reward, as I used to coin living in the joy zone, the hashtag joy zone, is when you help somebody. And Heather's smile in her video just proved it. And I've always told people, if you're sharing this technology, you will experience joy that you've never felt before. It may not happen right away, it may not be the first person, the second person, or the 10th person that you share this with, but you keep sharing it, you'll feel a joy that you can't explain. And that's the way I feel. So anyways, I'm going to just stop the recording here.